So glad you're waking up with us on this Thursday at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampour. And yeah, hopefully you're having a nice morning so far. Hey, it's almost the holiday break for so many.
The kids are excited.
Yeah, the kids are excited, counting it down. The fog outside, still kind of hanging out. Look at that smudge of the lights. That's the Hotel Del. Obviously, still a beautiful spot to go visit. And it doesn't seem as big of a deal.
Right, not quite as bad.
Today.
I noticed the 15 corridor. I could see the stars. It was beautiful. Got into Kearny Mason. It was like, boom, a wall cloud. You know.
Very patchy this morning. Much less dense than it has been for the past mornings. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was widespread from North County down through the South Bay. This morning, it's just going to be these small little pockets of it. Good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. We are a week out from Christmas Day, 7 days away. And it looks like as we head through the next couple days, we're going to be enjoying dry skies, warmer than normal temperatures this afternoon before we start to see some cooling into next week. 70 degrees this afternoon out by the coast, just a little bit of AM drizzle. Most of that cloud cover is pulled off of the coast already, though. Look at our inland temperatures this afternoon, 83 degrees. So some of our valleys could be about 20 degrees warmer than average. We just have to get through a little bit of this fog in the early morning stretch. And then by the time we get to mid-morning, and especially by the afternoon, we'll have sunshine. Coming up, we're still going to be talking about that chance for rain in the forecast going into Christmas week. Vanessa Paz standing by with a check of traffic on our Thursday.
Good morning. 6:02 is the time. We are not looking at really any orange covering the traffic maps here. Yesterday it was covered in orange from the 5 all the way to the 15, indicating that we were seeing some dense fog. It is very patchy, as Evan mentioned. In fact, here's a live look on the 5 where we are seeing heavily reduced visibility. But as we switch gears over to the East County, closer to San Diego State, you see how visibility is in pretty good shape along the 8 in both directions right at College. All right, let's go ahead and pull up travel times really fast, 5 to 7 minutes for those drives headed out of the East County westbound this morning. We're still all in the green as well, coming in from the North County. Netta.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Now new this morning, the South Bay Union School Board voted just last night to close 2 more schools down.
Yeah, the decision comes after the board voted to close another school back in May. CBS 8's Regina Yarita live in Imperial Beach with the details on when these closures could happen here, Regina.
Yeah, good morning, Netta and Eric. And the school board, as well as the superintendent, they voted to gradually close additional schools. And they say because most of these schools are underfilled and it's costing them more to keep them open. Now, teachers and union members, they strongly oppose this move, and they made sure to tell them during the meeting in their own creative holiday spirit.
The ghost of Christmas future. Look upon these ruins. The silence you hear is not peace. It is the silence of a neighborhood that has lost its soul. Observe the hallways of what was once a school filled with laughter. Now the windows are boarded up and the playgrounds are overgrown with weeds. The school did not close for a lack of need, but for a lack of will.
And so the schools that could potentially close after last night's votes are Central Elementary, which will close after the 2025-2026 school year. Sunny Slope Elementary may close after 2028 school year, depending on enrollment and finances. And Berry Elementary could close after the 2031 school year. The district argues that they're losing students and money. At the same time, costs are rising and keeping too many underfilled schools open isn't sustainable. The resolution aims to start long-term planning, not automatically start closing schools. Teachers criticize the move, saying school closures do not save money and can negatively affect student attendance, grade point averages, and behavior. According to the union that represents South Bay teachers, the district currently holds a budget reserve that is 15 times higher than what the state requires, adding that the school board and superintendent have refused to agree to proposals that they believe would lower class sizes in special education. So back out here, adding to this controversy, the board is expected to approve the hiring of a new interim assistant superintendent. And we'll keep you guys updated with more details on that during their next school meeting. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thanks for the update there. This just in here, inflation slowed last month. This is according to the Labor Department. Just in here, the Consumer Price Index was up 2.7% in November from a year earlier. The report was delayed by the government shutdown, which means the Labor Department did not gather data in October. The Federal Reserve's target for inflation is 2% to decide whether to continue cutting interest rates. Only one cut is expected next year. This morning, reaction is pouring in here following a primetime address from President Donald Trump.
Among many topics, the president defended his record on the economy and announced a bonus for military members. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in studio to give us the details of what the president said last night. Chris.
A wide range of topics that were covered in this one. And honestly, many people pointing out that while there has been a lot of reaction to this, a lot of people sort of still digesting and parsing through exactly what the president said. Now, anytime there's a primetime address, it's usually a major announcement, but this had the feeling and tone of a stump speech at a campaign stop. Now, it's possible the president has the 2026 midterms in mind. Regardless, here's a portion of what he had to say.
First time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. And I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price.
Yeah, so it was 18 minutes in total. There was a huge magnifying glass on former President Joe Biden, but he also celebrated, that being President Trump, a number of what he considers achievements in his first year, from the border to tariffs and his record on inflation, as you just heard. However, the rosy picture in the primetime address on the economy may not be matching what everyday Americans are feeling. According to CBS News analysis of government data, Americans say they are feeling a pinch when paying for essentials. And in a new CBS News poll, 63% of respondents said the economy is bad. 76% say their income isn't keeping up with inflation. On the topic of healthcare, as you heard, the president believes the funding used for insurance subsidies should go to the people rather than to insurers. The ACA subsidies at the center of the government shutdown debate are scheduled to expire soon, which means that many will see their premiums skyrocket. Democrats criticized the president's speech as a total. Representative Scott Peters said, quote, President Trump's address tonight was full of lies, division, and personal grievances. The American people deserve better. Representative Jamie Raskin had this to say about health care.
Saw in this speech tonight, they literally have no plans. They have no legislation for the country. We've been waiting for their health care plan forever. There's nothing there.
Now, the president also announced bonuses for military members in the amount of $1,776 in honor of our country's founding. Back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you for the information there. This morning, 4 House Republicans are breaking with their party and joining Democrats to force a vote on extending those health care subsidies. The small group is from battleground districts in Pennsylvania and New York. The cost of health care could be a key issue for voters in the midterms. The 4 Republicans sided with Democrats after House Speaker Mike Johnson refused to hold a vote on extending Affordable Care Act tax credits.
3/4 of people on Obamacare are in states Donald Trump won. So maybe, just maybe, everybody should look at this and say, how do we actually fix the healthcare system?
It was a Republican you just heard from there. The House voted on extending those credits. It's not expected to happen until January after they expire. And it is not clear if they would pass the Senate after a similar plan failed last week. Yesterday, House Republicans passed their own bill to lower insurance premiums, but it does nothing to address the subsidies.
All right, taking a peek outside here. Boy, we have been having some record warmth lately. Incredible what you see when the afternoon starts to come in.
It's been basically every afternoon that we've noticed some record breakers. They've mainly been out east toward our valley floors or even farther east toward the mountains, for example. Campo got all the way to 81 degrees yesterday. That tied their 1980 record. Palomar Mountain got to 67 degrees. That also tied their previous record. Today is likely to break many more records, as it will be the hottest day of the week and the hottest day for the next week too, because next week we're going to start to see those temperatures slide in anticipation for some wet weather. You can see how our rain chances climb going into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. That's Wednesday and Thursday, up to about 60%. Models are still kind of fine-tuning the details with this, but right now it seems like we will get rain around that time frame, maybe Tuesday through Thursday, with Wednesday now maybe being the most intense day. And then it seems like quickly following, going into next weekend, we could have another storm on the way. Again, very far out, so that's why we don't have those specifics quite yet, but it should help to add to our currently 0 rain so far this month. Normally we'd have over 0.8 of an inch on the ground right now. We've had nothing, so we could definitely use some of that precipitation to catch up on our water year thus far. Sunset this afternoon, 4:45 p.m. Remember, afternoon high temperatures on average would be in the mid-60s, not only along the coast, but inland as well. This afternoon out by the coast will be in the low to mid-70s and 80s as you make your way inland. From here on out, though, it's cooling. From this afternoon, Thursday, all the way through about Monday of next week, temperatures start to slide. It's still a pleasant weekend overall. We won't have as much of the morning cloud cover, the fog to work with, but we'll start to see those gradually cooling temperatures in the future. Still pleasant in the 70s all the way through Monday of next week before we start to dip down to the 60s. Want to send things over to Vanessa? I'm reading that text there. Like, are we in the country here?
Hey, we could be. I don't know. You never know, right? Yeah, we're getting reports. You know, I was wondering, I'm like, should I put this in? But,
yes.
Cars swerve out of the way to dodge this. I mean, come on, a bale of hay. How often do you see that? All right, we got that in one of the lanes on the 15 North right at Arrow Drive. Look out for it. Hopefully, yeah, I mean, I'm sure some animal was really looking forward to that bale of hay, so I'm sorry that you dropped it. Let's go ahead and take a look outside because, again, fog, it's not nearly as widespread this morning, but it's still an issue for some drivers, particularly for those traveling through UTC and La Jolla. This is the 5, and you can barely make out the cars and even the roads. A different story, though, in the South Bay. This is the 805 in both directions right at Home Avenue. Coming at your screen is a northbound drive, and you can see that visibility in pretty good shape there. So are the travel times, anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes for those out of the East County headed westbound. 12 minutes in from Escondido, about nearly 30 in from Encinitas to the top of the Golden Triangle, and no major issues nor delays coming in from Chula Vista nor National City. Full span of the Coronado Bridge under 5 minutes. All right, 6:12 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you. We're tracking about an hour-and-a-half drives, a little more than that coming in from San Ysidro's port of entry, coming in from Otay Mesa about an hour and a half.